Hey there everyone, welcome back to the Deep Fog. Before we get into this, I just want to thank everyone so much for all the support you've been showing on the recent content. Oh god, my voice. It has been so awesome to see the support, and I have some really big videos in the works. One of them is about Silent Hill Homecoming, which I'm currently playing on stream. I will be streaming that again as soon as possible, so tune in if you like watching me make a fool of myself. No, please. Are you joking? But the other one I can't reveal yet, but I promise it's gonna be big, it's gonna be cool. Anyway, today I have a bit of a shorter video for you guys to supply while I am currently working on the bigger stuff. So, let's jump right into it. Lo and behold, I want to talk about Silent Hill 2, who could believe that? But today we're going to discuss something that's actually been discussed for a very long time in the community. Did James really love Mary? First of all, before we really even get into the topic, I just want to say how cool I think it is that this is still a discussion. To me, this discussion is very similar to Joel from The Last of Us and people arguing about the morals of what he did for Ellie. And I think this is just such a similar topic, and it's so cool that this conversation still sparks a debate to this day in the community of Silent Hill. I think the best thing about it as well is that, honestly, I think it is all up to interpretation, which many of the Silent Hill games really are that way. It is just up to how you perceive the events going on. But I think when it comes to James and his love for Mary, it is a very, very subjective topic. On that note, I will admit that I also am kind of perplexed by the question. Personally, my opinion is I think James did love Mary, but also James is very human, and it is not just black and white in that way. As we learn a lot throughout the game, James really went through a hard time when Mary got ill.
Mary's going to die? You must be joking.
I'm very sorry.
But you're a doctor. It's your job to heal people. How can you just let her die?
Please, calm down.
In fact, we can really notice in Mary's hallway speech how much Mary seemed to kind of mistreat James in a way, which must have been very hard on James's psyche.
What are you looking at? Get the hell out of here! Leave me alone already! Are you still here? I told you to go! Are you deaf? James! Wait! Please don't go! Stay with me! Don't leave me alone!
I honestly believe James did fall out of love with Mary during her illness. And sadly, even though that did happen, I think his love for her, in some twisted way, turned into his idea to put her out of her misery. Now, I'd also like to say that I am not trying to excuse anything James has done or say that what he did was correct. I'm just trying to understand how he might have been perceiving things in the moment. I think the most interesting quote from the game that really comes to mind when talking about this subject is the one when James is talking to Mary on the bed at the end of the game.
The truth is, I hated you. I wanted you out of the way. I wanted my life back.
James, if that were true, then why do you look so sad?
I think that quote right there really says a lot, and it's honestly part of the reason this game always makes me cry. It is so horrendously human. There are genuine cases of real people doing this, by the way. I'm not going to actually quote them or link them because I feel like that might be a little disrespectful to those cases, but if you do the research, there is real cases of husbands killing their terminally ill wives because they feel like they have to put them out of their misery. And I think in this scene, James is kind of lying, but also kind of telling the truth. It's so interesting because there's so much deeper to this than just what he's saying. And you can tell that through even the affliction he speaks it through, the way that he says these lines, that he hated her and that he wanted her out of the way. It just doesn't feel true. It's exactly why Mary's response is so devastating, because Mary knows that even if James really believed he hated her, there was still some love for her deep down. Somewhere in his heart, he did it out of his love for her. Even if it was completely the wrong choice and not something he should have ever done or even considered doing, he did it because in his fucked up mind, he believed that he was doing her justice and saving her. We also have to consider the fact that the entire game is literally about James searching for Mary. He is going through this town, even if he has suppressed what he did so deep in the backs of his mind. It still shows that James has a love for Mary. He is willing to go through what is pretty much hell to go find her, even though he doesn't know she's dead. And as kind of a last point, we also have to consider the fact that James genuinely does feel sorry for what he did, to the point where one of his monsters that literally is created from the depths of his mind is a monster who is coming to punish him for what he did. He understands that what he did was bad. Even if that understanding is very deep in his mind, he knows that he deserves punishment for this. All in all, this is just a very short video. I just thought this was an interesting topic. I would love to know your all's opinions on this matter, because I think it's a very subjective topic, and it's a very fun topic to discuss, because I think one of the best parts of Silent Hill 2 and the beauties of these games in general is how much deeper it is than just the surface level. James is one of the most human, complex characters I've ever seen in a story. And honestly, most of the cast are just some of the most genuine characters ever. And I just love James Sunderland so much as a character, because he is so much more than just the guy that killed his wife because he killed his wife. He has so much going into that choice, and it makes the game really interesting whenever you're on his side for the whole game, and at the end when you find out that this happened, a lot of people want to find excuses for what he did or try and understand his reasoning, because that's a very human thing to do. And this game is I just love how Silent Hill is about humanity and about humans in general, and the just very interesting, complex feelings of humans. And yeah, I just think it's pretty sick. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Please stay tuned for the future stuff. Really, really cool stuff coming up. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.